Your body starts changing within hours when you stop eating. Not because it is panicking, because the arrivals have stopped. And when no new food is landing, your metabolism has to switch from managing incoming fuel to managing stored fuel. Think of your body as a massive airport. Every meal is a wave of incoming planes. Carbohydrates land as glucose. Protein lands as amino acids. Fat lands as fatty acids. Insulin works like the air traffic controller, guiding fuel out of the bloodstream and into the right gates. When you eat all day, the airport never closes. Planes keep landing, gates stay busy, crews stay focused on unloading. But when you stop eating, something different happens. The runway clears. The control tower changes priorities. The airport moves from arrival mode into reserve mode. That is fasting. First, hours 0 to 4. Arrival mode. The clock starts after your last bite. During these first hours, your body is not fasting in the dramatic sense. It is still processing the meal you just ate. Your stomach breaks food down. Your intestine absorbs nutrients. Glucose rises in the blood. Insulin rises to help move that glucose into cells. This is normal. Insulin is not the enemy. Without insulin, fuel would stay trapped in the bloodstream instead of entering the tissues that need it. In the airport analogy, insulin is the controller that tells the planes where to dock. Some fuel goes to muscles, some goes to the liver, some goes into storage. This is why the first few hours after eating are not a deep fat-burning state. Your body already has fresh fuel on the runway. It does not need to open the emergency hangars yet. It uses what just arrived. And this is the part most people misunderstand. Fasting is not just about not eating. It is about creating enough time for the arrival system to quiet down. Until the planes stop landing, the airport cannot change jobs. Second, hours 4 to 12. The runway starts clearing. As time passes, glucose from the meal begins to settle. Insulin starts coming down. The control tower is no longer shouting constant instructions. Your body now has to maintain blood sugar without a new delivery from food. This is where the liver becomes important. The liver stores glucose in a short-term form called glycogen. Think of glycogen as the airport's quick-access fuel tank. It is not the giant reserve supply. It is the fuel kept nearby for immediate operations. When no new food arrives, the liver can release glucose from glycogen to help keep blood sugar stable. This is one reason you do not collapse the moment you miss a snack. Your body has backup systems. It was built for gaps. But this is also where hunger often appears. Hunger is not always a sign that you are in danger. Often, it is a scheduled announcement. Your body remembers when food usually arrives. If you normally eat every few hours, your hunger hormones may rise at those times, like an airport announcement saying, "Flight expected." The feeling can be strong, but it often comes in waves. It rises, peaks, and falls. You are not necessarily starving. Your body is asking a question: is more food coming, or should we switch systems? Third, hours 12 to 18. Reserve mode begins. Around this stage, depending on your last meal, activity, body size, and metabolic health, the easy access fuel tank starts becoming less dominant. Your body begins leaning more on stored energy. Fat cells can release fatty acids. The liver can turn some of those fatty acids into ketones. This is the metabolic switch. It is not a magic button. It is not the same for every person. It does not happen at one exact minute. But the direction changes. Your body shifts from use incoming fuel toward use stored fuel. In the airport, the regular arrivals have slowed. The quick fuel tank is being managed carefully. Now the system starts opening the long-term reserve hangars. Those hangars are your stored body fat. This is why fasting can feel different after the early hunger wave. At first, your body complains because the usual schedule has been interrupted. Then it starts adapting. Fuel is still available. It is just coming from a different place. That difference matters. When insulin is higher, the body is more oriented towards storing and using incoming fuel. When insulin falls, the signal environment becomes more favorable for releasing stored fuel. That does not mean insulin is bad. It means insulin tells the airport what job to prioritize. High arrivals, store and distribute. No arrivals, conserve, release, and reroute. Fourth, the brain does not shut off. A common fear is that if you stop eating for a while, your brain immediately runs out of fuel. That sounds logical, but biologically, it is incomplete. Your brain does need a steady energy supply, but during fasting, the body has ways to protect that supply. The liver helps maintain blood glucose. As fasting continues, ketones may rise and become an additional fuel source for the brain. This is why some people report clearer focus during a fast. But be careful, not everyone feels this. Some people feel headaches, irritability, dizziness, or weakness, especially if they are dehydrated, sleep-deprived, underfueled, or not adapted. Fasting is not proof of mental toughness. It is a biological stressor. The same stressor that feels clean and focused for one person can feel terrible for another person. The airport can run on reserve systems, but reserve systems still need maintenance. Water matters, electrolytes matter, sleep matters, and the quality of the last meal matters. If your last meal was mostly refined sugar and low protein, the shift may feel like turbulence. If your last meal had protein, fiber, and slower digesting foods, the runway clears more smoothly. Once the arrivals slow down, the airport finally has time to inspect itself. This is where people often bring up autophagy, the cell's recycling system. Autophagy is real. Cleveland Clinic describes it as a process where cells break down and reuse old or damaged parts. But this is where we need to be honest. Autophagy is not an on-off switch that magically turns on at exactly 16 or 18 hours. Your body uses recycling systems all the time, and fasting is one signal that can influence nutrient-sensing pathways involved in cellular maintenance. So do not think of fasting as a guaranteed anti-aging button. Think of it as creating a quieter operating environment. When fewer nutrient arrivals are coming in, the cell has more reason to conserve, recycle, and manage internal resources. In the airport analogy, the cleaning crews can finally inspect the terminal when flights are not constantly landing. Broken equipment can be tagged, old materials can be reused, the system can shift from unloading to maintenance. That is powerful, but it is not magic, and it is not a reason to push fasting recklessly. Sixth, why fasting can help some people. Intermittent fasting can help some people because it creates structure. It reduces grazing. It gives insulin time to come down between meals. It may reduce total calorie intake simply because there are fewer eating opportunities. It can also make people more aware of hunger, cravings, and food quality. Mayo Clinic notes that intermittent fasting may improve some short-term health measures in some people, including weight, blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, and inflammation. But the key phrase is, may improve. It is not guaranteed. It is not superior for everyone. A Johns Hopkins study challenged the idea that time restriction itself is always the magic ingredient. When calories were kept similar, time-restricted eating did not produce dramatically different weight loss compared with a more typical eating pattern. That matters. Fasting is a tool, not a spell. If your eating window is filled with ultra-processed food, constant overeating, poor sleep, and no movement, the airport still gets overloaded. You just move the chaos into fewer hours. Seventh, the refeed trap. This is where many people fail. They fast all day, feel proud, then break the fast like they are collecting a reward. Huge meal, fast sugar, low protein, little fiber, maybe dessert on top. Inside the airport, that is not a smooth reopening. That is 50 planes landing at once after the runway has been quiet. Glucose rises fast. Insulin rises fast. The digestive system gets slammed. You may feel tired, bloated, or hungrier later. The way you break a fast matters. Start with structure. Protein gives your body amino acids and helps satiety. Fiber-rich plants slow the glucose surge. Minimally processed foods give the system a calmer landing pattern. A walk after the meal gives glucose somewhere useful to go because active muscles act like open gates. Do not use fasting to earn chaos. Use fasting to create clarity. 8th, who should be careful? Fasting is not for everyone. If you have diabetes, take blood sugar medication, take blood pressure medication, are pregnant, nursing, under 18, have a history of eating disorders, have severe symptoms, fainting, dehydration, or a major medical condition, do not start fasting without qualified medical guidance. This is especially important if medication is involved. Fasting changes food timing. Food timing can change blood sugar and blood pressure responses. That means the risk is not theoretical. The goal is not to prove you can suffer. The goal is to understand your biology safely. 9th, the simplest way to start. You do not need to jump into an extreme fast. In fact, for many people, the best first step is boring. Stop eating late at night. Create a consistent overnight gap. Eat a real meal with protein and fiber. Walk after meals. Drink water. Sleep enough. Then watch how your hunger behaves. If your current airport is overloaded all day, do not shut down every runway overnight. Start by spacing out the arrivals. Give the control tower a predictable schedule. Let insulin rise when food comes in, then let it fall when food stops. That is the rhythm your body understands. Final picture. When you stop eating, your body does not instantly fall apart. It changes jobs. First, it processes the food that arrived. Then it uses quick access fuel from the liver. Then it leans more on stored energy. Hunger rises and falls like an announcement. Ketones may increase. Cellular maintenance pathways may become more active, and the entire system gets a break from constant arrivals. But fasting only works when it respects biology. It is not a punishment. It is not a shortcut around food quality. It is not a cure. It is a way of changing the schedule so the airport can stop unloading and start managing reserves. Your body is not weak because it gets hungry. It is communicating. The real question is not, how long can I force myself not to eat? The real question is, what happens when I finally give my metabolism enough quiet to switch modes? Because the moment the arrivals stop, the control tower changes the plan. The runway clears, the reserve hangars open, and your body remembers how to run on more than the food you just ate.